Morning folks. First things first, I'm fiddling with some settings today on the old Go balls. Now the whole sponsorship story is one of those ones that starts off with a bit of a but finishes off with a woohoo. So let's take it from the top. So about 6 weeks ago I get this email from a fairly well-known company, brand within the MTB industry. Probably one that most of you heard before. I'm not going to mention any names. And the email says, "Hi Ben, we along the lines of we like what you're doing. Sponsoring a bike park is a big commitment, but we would like to sponsor you as an individual, as a brand ambassador, I think they called it." So I'm like, well, okay, that makes sense. You know, the bike park is, I suppose, a big commitment for some companies, and anyway, whatever. So I'm reading it down a bit more, like what do they expect from me. Basically, they wanted to send me a couple of hats and a hoodie, I think they said as well. By the way, this brand doesn't make hats and hoodies, that's not what they do. And they wanted me to wear one or the other, either a hat or a hoodie, whilst making vlogs. Repost any of their promotions that they put on social media, and maybe do some product reviews for them as well. And I'm like, well, okay, well you've got my interest. So I wrote back to them, and the reply I got was, but I wrote back basically asking, okay, what's my end? And basically they said that we'll send you a couple of free hats and a couple of hoodies, and then we'll give you 50% off from our online store. Now, I used to be, this is a job I used to do. I happen to know that on average, I'm not saying everyone, but on average, most RRPs are 60% markup. So basically what they were saying is they want me to do all this work for them, rep them, and then when I went to buy stuff from them, because I'd have to buy stuff from them in order to do product reviews that they wanted me to do, because they weren't going to send me any product for free, just hats and jumpers. So when I put that 50% discount in, it was 60% markup, so I was still paying, they were still making money off me. And I'm like, hang on, this doesn't make any sense. No thanks. Turning down a crappy sponsorship deal, it's not even the part of this story. It wasn't the spark for concern. It was, however, the fifth one of those that I turned down in as many months. The real cause for concern didn't come until I got away on holiday. You get one offer like that, and it's very easy just to get back on the email and go, screw you knucklehead, I wasn't born yesterday. But after the fifth, you kind of start and wonder, well, A, you start running out of polite ways to say screw you knucklehead, and you start to wonder, is this is it a thing now? Is this an actual thing? This is the fifth one that I've had. So while I was sat on the plane, I was contemplating this, and let's be honest, I wasn't out clubbing when I was on holiday, so evenings were pretty chilled with a beer, and I did a little bit of research. Now the worrying thing is, yes, it is a thing. Sponsorship or fake sponsorship, whichever terminology you subscribe to, it is a thing, and it seems to have come alongside the rise of Instagram, and it's not necessarily a mountain biking thing. It just seems to be creeping into mountain biking right now. It's more of a action sports thing, and it's from what I could read, at skate and BMX competitions or demos, when they have a tendency to stand on top of the quarter and throw out loads of stickers and t-shirts and what have you. Now people were going back, and fair enough, people were going back onto their Instagram accounts, and some of them being good skaters or good riders, like local guys and stuff, going back onto Instagram accounts wearing the t-shirts, putting in some sort of either a hashtag but linking in the company. Now what's happened over the course of time and over the rise of Instagram, the marketers at these companies have gone, well, hang on a second, our name's getting put out there by all these people, and it cost us stickers and t-shirts. And they've then sought to further that by actually seeking out people by going through Instagram and checking through like local riders. You know, now there's the popularity has risen for video clips and stuff to get put on Instagram as well. Looking at people's social media and looking at Facebook. I've even read how-tos for marketing, how to do this and how to target this kind of a campaign. I don't know how they can call it a campaign. Anyway, so all of this was quite shocking. It's a common thing. People getting asked to, essentially sponsorship is, well, any time that you give up your time for in any way, shape or form for the benefit of somebody else is what I would class as work. So it's got to be a give and take, and it's got to be a worthwhile relationship on both sides. And for getting a free t-shirt and some stickers, I don't know, are these guys asking themselves whether they're worth that, or whether that's worthwhile to them? Anyway, it's starting to creep its way through to mountain biking now. Obviously, a lot of kind of action sport, I hate that term and all, but a lot of these action sports marketing managers are switching around from one company to the next, and they're also switching around from BMX to mountain biking, from surf to skate, and it's all kind of, there's a lot of movement within companies, and they bring these philosophies and new ideas with them. And now obviously massive money saving ideas, you know. Well, we give them rock all and barely any support, but they support us in their droves through Instagram. So that sparked the thought of, well, look at the way that I do things. I moaned and complained about surfaced trail centres and surfaced tracks, so open this place. So it's one of those things of, you kind of end up re-asking yourself the question of, well, if you're not part of the solution, Sunshine, are you actually part of the problem? Don't get me wrong, if hats, hoodies and t-shirts and stickers are your company's product, and that's what you do, and that's what you offer to your sponsored riders as support, then I totally get that. That makes complete sense. What doesn't make sense is when it's, you know, people who do other stuff. You know, that's not really the way the riders would probably prefer to be supported through your other stuff. So, as I say, I'm thinking, well, what can I do about that? And this all came together very, very quickly. It was obvious. I started down the train of thought of, well, what's my product? Well, my product is a mountain bike training facility. So okay, I want to give that product away for free. Who's going to benefit of that? Well, somebody who is really into the biking, somebody who's perhaps not in full-time employment and therefore not having to pay for it would be beneficial to them. Somebody with a great attitude, and then it all just stopped, because there was only ever going to be one person. It could only be Adam, and this is where the woohoo part of the story comes in. So on Saturday I spoke to Adam and his dad and had a bit of a chat with them about what I was proposing, and the fact, you know, Adam will get to use this place for free as often as he wants, and even at times when officially we're closed. And all I'm looking for in return is that he appears in a couple of YouTube videos. As I say, I've got some filming stuff coming up, and so it works out well. He's, you know, Adam's at school, he's not in full-time employment, save him a bit of cash, sort him out with a place to ride. So for 2 whole days I got to feel all kind of on my high horse and all rock and roll and like, yeah, mountain bike industry, screw you, I'm sticking it to the man and all that, which I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a great feeling. That was nice. But 2 days later, on the Monday evening, I put up an official announcement on Facebook, And within 2 hours of doing that, I had 2 companies contact me. Now, I'm just Adam's training facility provider. I'm not his manager, so I'm his friend. I'll advise him, but you know, make his own decision. So I'm not gonna talk to you about the names, although I do kind of feel I should give him props for doing so. But I'll let Adam do that if he decides to do such a thing. But these 2 companies contacted the GNAR Bike Park Facebook page and messaged me, basically both of them saying, hey man, the kid looks cool, I just wondered if we could help him out, offer him any support. So the first, within 2 hours, the first offer of support that he got was to take part in some training days that are coming up here. More about that later from me, but the owner of that company was like, hey man, if he wants to come in and do some training, cool, he can tag on. I'm like, oh, get on. And then the next one was from, can't give too much more, I do want to, but it's completely up to Adam what he wants to do about it. But the other one was from a British bike manufacturer, and they were like, hey, the kid looks cool, if we can support him by offering him a bike at cost, then just tell him to get in touch with us at cost, not a discounted rate, not all, so we're still going to make some money off him at cost. So my couple of hours of being all, yeah, screw you mountain bike industry, that bubble was immediately burst by, actually, the mountain bike industry, it's not rubbish. I found that out very quickly. There's just elements creeping in that I hope you guys are aware of, because in the skate and the BMX scene, maybe not as much the BMX scene, but I was reading more about it in the skate scene, that this sponsorship thing is happening a lot, and a lot of people are being contacted. God, I'm just going to turn around and see if I can. The sun's come out over here now. It's looking quite nice. See up onto the fells. I bet you can't see, but check it out. It's looking pretty good. Anyway, so that's the story of it. It starts off a bit, finishes off, well, hey! I couldn't be happier to have Adam involved in this. He's a great lad. His attitude is absolutely bang on. He just loves dicking about on his bike in the woods. So I wish him all the best, and I hope it goes amazingly for him. And you know, it'd be awesome if more things can come in for him. Just mega. He's 15-year-old. He's a shredder. He's a good rider, and anybody who's seen him ride up here will tell you that. But yeah, look, stay tuned. Like I say, I'm fiddling with the idea of there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about, and I just can't. I can't right now, but I'm shortly hopefully be able to. But there's some filming stuff coming up, hopefully. But I definitely will be doing some filming. Jesus, I wish you could. It's annoying when you can't say stuff. But that's coming up. We'll have to do like an introduction edit for Adam. The plane. We'll have to do an introduction edit for Adam, and we'll get that done in the crispy winter and the loam, as obviously all the fresh loam that's been put down. We'll get that sorted out and get that filmed and released, and good times ahead. I'm looking forward to it. But if you're watching this, fella, get on. Good to have you on board, Adam. Congratulations. High five. And now, breaking news. I've even had to write this down to make sure that I get it right. So there's been some breaking news today, like this afternoon. It's from the PNBA, and you might have seen that I mentioned in a previous vlog. I was round 3, and I was in July of 2017, and Kiritri was in September. I've now swapped with Kiritri, and I'm round 4 on the 10th of September 2017, so that's a swap, A bit of a last minute one, but it's a swap. There's round 4 here, 10th of September 2017. Please don't direct questions at me as to why that's swapped. I know it might have cocked things up for some people, but I genuinely don't know. I just was asked if I was okay to swap. I said yeah, and that's all I can tell you. So guys, I'm going to finish off this day and this vlog by having a cuppa and a bit of a warm through before I go home. Hopefully next time I can give you a bit more information on this whole viral cam thing. I don't know if you've heard about me talk about that before, but there's a new company coming out with a new product, and basically Viral have brought wire filming to a whole next level. Obviously drones are pointless in the woods, and hopefully there'll be a bit of news about those guys and me doing some work with them. Stay tuned for that. There should be some filming coming up. If you're riding this weekend, the weather report looks fantastic, so hope to see you up here. And take care of yourself, and thanks very much for your time. Cheers.